What's going on? Sports Talk Indy. It's Elijah from Sports Talk Indy. What's going on, Colts Nation? This is the fourth time I'm trying to record this video. I've had technical difficulties out the wazoo, but we're here. So the Colts are now into draft form. They are now getting everything ready for the draft. It seems that offseason stuff has died down. They hosted one free safety last week, and that was Mike Edwards, and he immediately signed with the Bills. And Julian Blackmon does not look like he's returning to the Colts, unfortunately. So this is now my fourth attempt at making this video. So if I seem rushed or any of that, I apologize. But I'm going to give you a breakdown. The Colts hosted some more players for top 30 visits. And what is a top 30 visit? A top 30 visit, you are permitted up to 40 top 30 visits with each team. And these are private conversations that you get to invite the player or you fly out to the player to get a little more in-depth personal action as far as what these players do. So the Colts have now hosted 3 top 30 visits so far this draft season. They attended the Texas Pro Day, where they went to see Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, and a defender whose name escapes me at the moment. So what came from that? And I think that this leads into where the Colts are going into the draft. The Colts have now hosted Xavier Worthy for a top 30 visit after the Pro Day. So that means that they liked what they saw. They wanted more information. So they now have hosted him, which I think is a big deal. The other 2 players also lead me to believe that the Colts aren't going to stay at 15. And here's why I say that. The Colts met with wide receiver Troy Franklin from Oregon. Now that name has not popped up into the top 5 wide receivers or top 8 wide receivers. Troy Franklin has kind of like slid under the radar a little bit, at least in my circle, and I might be wrong. But they also hosted defensive tackle Christian Boyd. Don't panic, Colts fans. I don't think he's going with this option. And the reason I say that is because there were a slew of teams who are meeting with defensive lineman Christian Boyd. I don't think the Colts are going here only because they signed Grover Stewart to a massive deal. They signed Roquan Davis to a massive deal. They still have DeForest Buckner for another year. So I don't think that they're going to continue to pad that unless something crazy happens. The list of teams that have now met with Christian Boyd has been the Lions, the Saints, the Packers, the Chiefs, the Cardinals, the Colts, the Vikings, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Giants. Half of the league has now met with this guy. So I'm not expecting the Colts to go with this direction, especially because that was the only thing they did in free agency this year. But here's the other 2 guys. Xavier Worthy and Troy Franklin. So we did a breakdown of Xavier Worthy and his combine stuff, but I want to do a breakdown real quick of Troy Franklin and why I think this might be a sneaky option for the Indianapolis Colts. So his height is 6'3", weight 183. So he's very small frame as opposed to where we normally go with wide receivers in the big 6'4", 200 plus. His hand size is 8 3/4, arm is 31 7/8, wingspan 77 1/4. His 40-yard dash is 41, 3-cone 6.9, shuttle 4.31, vertical 39, and broad 10.4. Why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this to say that of the people who the Colts have interviewed and had visits with and pro days and all this stuff that they've been linked to, statistically he is the worst. But here's where the combine scouts have kind of like started to share a little bit more. I mean, that 4.41, I was thinking that's not great for a wide receiver. But the positives are this: elite speed can separate from anyone down the field. So that tells me that the 40 might not have been an accurate read on how truly fast he can be. He's got a diverse release package, always keeps DBs guessing, but never wasting movement. He's a quick, detailed route runner, understands how to manipulate DBs, good ability to hand fight with DBs, and can create separation that way, does not lose speed while doing so. All of the things I just said are all of the things that Adonai Mitchell did not have. All of the things, all of the positives were the opposite. Now, whether that's like some agenda from the scouts or whatever, I don't necessarily believe in that whole conspiracy. But I am saying this. This is more of the guy that Ballard generally goes with. He doesn't go for the guy who's just going to run every time. We tried that with Pierce. It's not worked as super well as we would hope. I'm not saying we give up on that. Obviously, they're still going with a guy who has that option in Xavier Worthy. But I'm going to read you his 2023 statistics. And this is what blew my mind. Because somehow this guy just hasn't come up in where I thought. But his 2023 statistics are 13 games, 81 receptions, 1,383 yards, a 17.1 yards per catch, and 14 touchdowns. That's incredible. So why do I not think the Colts are going to stay at 15? I'll tell you this. Because with Troy Franklin, this is what has been said about him. Franklin is considered a fringe first-round pick and profiles as a potentially successful deep threat at the NFL level. The Colts reportedly were among only a few teams to meet with him ahead of the pro day, per Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda. This is incredibly interesting to me because I think that the Colts are going to trade back. They're either going to trade back or they're going to trade away the first-round pick for something else, and that they're going to get Troy Franklin as a steal in the later rounds. I think there's going to be a lot of movement in the first 10 picks of the draft, and I think that's going to lead to a lot of movement in the next 10 picks. And so I think that the Colts, if they can find their wide receiver that they want and get a package deal of some more picks, some more second rounds, there's a lot of defensive backs that are going to look really good in the second round. Or the Colts are going to still get 15. They're going to trade back into the later rounds, the later picks of the first round, get Troy Franklin. But I think that this means that the Colts are going to move in some direction. They're either going to keep 15 and they're going to trade back into the first round, or they're going to trade back in general and just take Troy Franklin and then just stack up later picks. The Colts did this so much in last year's draft, and I would not be surprised to see them do that again in this year's draft. So whether it's Xavier Worthy, whether it's Troy Franklin, whether it's Brian Thomas Jr., whether it's Adonai Mitchell, any one of those guys, I think that the Colts are in good hands. But this does reveal to me that the Colts are definitely going to at least try to go wide receiver in the first round for the first time since 2015. We're looking at the first time in a decade the Colts are looking at doing this, and I think that's incredibly exciting. They're continuing to pad this offense and really trying to set Anthony Richardson up for success. So let me know in the comments below, who do you think the Colts are going to go with the first round pick or the first pick that they have in the NFL draft this year? What if it's a wide receiver? Let me know in the comments what you think. We're also going to be doing a giveaway. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to give away some Colts merch, so be sure to subscribe to our channel for all things Colts, everything going on, and we'll continue to be posting updates daily as we get them.